Good afternoon, all the students. Today, I am going to start Module 5, and in Module 5, Part 1, I am going to cover. What is Part 1? That is the collection and conveyance of water. Okay. So, in collection and conveyance of water, what we are going to study is that is related to pumps. Today, I am going to study. I am going to deliver lecture on pumps for lifting the water. Okay, this one I am going to cover. So, students, actually, the pumps we are expected to learn little bit about the pumps. Okay, theoretical portion, and there are some problems also. Those things I am going to cover today. So, theoretical portion is very simple, very easy to understand. Even if you read yourself, you will understand it. After the end of the lecture, I am going to forward this notes to you, okay, in PDF form, so that you can also go through once again, okay, if it is not understood clearly in the lecture. Now in pumps, what is pump? Okay, pumps for lifting water. In water supply scheme, pumps are required in many cases. So let us go a bit fast so that it is very simple to understand. Even if you read, you will understand it. Okay, what is general introduction? So in water supply scheme, pumps are required at one or more of the following stages. What are those stages? Let us read it. Okay, so read it. Number 1, to lift the water at the source when the water cannot flow by gravity into the mains. Okay, so at the source, at source means actually it may be river, it may be dam, or it may be reservoir, it may be lake, it may be even underground water. Okay, whatever may be the source, from the source water is sometimes required to be lifted, because generally river or water sources or water bodies are at the lower level. So from the lower level we have to take the water to the higher level where the location or city is developing. Okay, so in such cases, or where we have to carry the water, we have to lift the water. Okay, so to lift the water at the source, first one, and second one is to lift the water at the treatment plant. So after again, if water is lifted and it is allowed to go through the gravity, and when it comes to treatment plant, so in treatment plant also, if the treatment plant inlet is at the higher level than the outlet of the pipe, so then there also it is required to lift. So there also lifting of water is essential, that is to lift the water at the treatment plant. I will go a bit fast because these are very simple, you can understand it. Third point is to lift the water after the treatment. Okay, so third part is to lift the water after treatment. So here it is written, see, you can go through. And 4 point, when the pressure in the distributing mains has to be increased, actually it is not increased, it is increased or boosted at some intermediate points. So when the pipelines are, when the water is going to the pipelines, at certain points water is required to be lifted because of the continuous slope. Okay, then we have to lift at intermediate points. So that is the 4th point, that is when the pressure in the water, so when the pressure in the distributing mains has to be, okay, when the pressure in the distributing mains has to be raised, okay, or boosted at some intermediate points within the distribution system, so as to enable the water reach up to the height, ready height, okay, readable height. So this one is very important. So these are the 4, okay, points where water supply scheme, in the water supply scheme, these are the stages, actually not points, we can say stages. So first stage at the source, okay, first stage at the source, and second stage at the, to lift the water at the treatment plant, and third stage, okay, to lift the water after the treatment, and then fourth stage when the pressure is in the distributing means has to be increased in that such case. So remember these things. Okay, so now after this, let us see what are the types of pumps, important part. So types of pumps, there are mainly 2 classifications, that is rotodynamic dynamic pumps and displacement pumps. So out of these two, let us see what are the rotordynamic pumps, what are the different types of rotordynamic pumps, and later we will see what are different types of displacement pumps. So that we will see. Now here, let us go to the rotordynamic pump. So in a rotordynamic pump, it has wheel or rotating element which rotates the water in casing and thus imparting energy to the water. So such pumps may be of the following two types. So there are two types of pumps. That is, one is centrifugal, another is axial. Okay. So here, this out of these two, centrifugal pump is very important. So this I am going to discuss. Okay, I am going to discuss in the detail centrifugal pump. That one is actually in our water supply scheme. This centrifugal pump is more commonly used, and we have to expected to know more about the centrifugal pump. And one more pump that is called, here it is displacement pump. So in displacement, okay, in displacement, what you can see is in displacement pump works on the principle of mechanically inducing vacuum a chamber, thereby drawing in a volume of water which is then mechanically displaced and forced out to the chamber. So this is displacement pump works. So here we are also once again going to study reciprocal pump in detail. So reciprocal pump is important, but only these two types of pumps are being used in water supply. One is centrifugal pump, okay, another is reciprocating pump. So out of these two, we are going to study the centrifugal pump in detail, okay, and rotary pump we are not going to study in detail. Okay, now let us see. I will just go to the centrifugal pumps because remaining things you can go through easily. So in types of centrifugal pumps, so let us see what are the types of centrifugal pumps. Okay, this thing we will see. So now, radial or mixed flow impeller which constitutes the centrifugal pump may either be open or closed. So centrifugal pump may be either open, okay, or closed. See here. So I will just show you the figure. So better way, I am not going to read all the theoretical part. It is very easy. Only the thing is, let us see the figure. So here, this one is open impeller system, okay, and closed impeller system. So the central pump impellers are given here. So left figure, that is, okay, figure which is being shown left side, that is open impeller, and on the right side it is closed impeller. So we are not actually expected to draw any figure or any explanation related to the inner, what is a construction of the pumps. Only just for your understanding purpose I am showing this. Okay, it is not much important. As far as we are actually giving importance to only types of pumps. What are the types of pumps and which type of pumps are most commonly used in the water supply system? That those things we have to study. So here I am actually highlighting them. Okay, so these are the casing of radial flow centrifugal pump may be either of volute type or turbine type. Okay, we can say volute type is this one is volute type, and this one is turbine type. So casing of radial flow centrifugal pumps. So we are using this radial flow centrifugal pumps in most of the cases in water supply scheme. Okay, that much you understand. Okay, now let us go ahead. All these details I have simply written just for your understanding. You please go through. I am not going to read all those things. Very simple. Actually, exams point of view, it is not much important. Now let us come to the advantages and disadvantages of the pumps. So advantages. What are the advantages and disadvantages of centrifugal pumps? That we shall see. So here I am directly going to read. So there are various advantages and disadvantages of pumps. So one is their initial cost as well as the maintenance cost are comparatively low. Okay, so cost is low, that is one initial cost, and maintenance cost is low, that's one important. And second point, their size is compact and can be installed in a limited space, that you can understand. And third point, their mechanism is simple and thus less skilled labors required for their operations and repairs. This one is there. Okay, so now like this there are about 7 advantages. Okay, They can be operated with high speed electric motors. Okay, the discharge obtained is steady and non pulsating. They can be used for pumping of water containing silt and etc. Silts and etc. If water is containing up to certain extent, it can be managed. Okay, that is very important point here. You can see silt. Okay, silt and sand. If up to certain extent, it is managed by the pump. Some other pumps are not actually not managed. They will become stuck up. So this is one important case. And last one, that is seventh one. They are quite okay. They are quite durable and safe against the high pressures. So this is very important. What is called remember this. That is what is that? This one is quite durable and safe against the high pressure. Very important advantage in case of centrifugal pump. Okay. Now here, after advantage, let us see what is limitations. So let us see what is limitations or various drawbacks of the centrifugal pump. There are certain limitations also. Let us go a bit fast. Okay. So here limitations. There are about again 6 limitations. Such pumps requiring priming. This is one important limitation. Priming is required. Okay. Priming is required. And such pumps should neither be started with discharge valve open so as to avoid overloading, nor should the discharge valve be kept closed for longer time. So this one is very important disadvantage. If such things are taken, pipes will be busted out or the pump will be damaged. Okay. What is third? Third one is discharge pipe has to be provided with the check valves. So this is very important. Check valve must be provided for the centrifugal pumps. Okay, to avoid the backflow. To avoid the backflow. Of course, this is minor disadvantage. That as such, it is not very big thing. Okay, one can understand this. And next, fourth one is also the discharge from such a pump varies with the head of water. So if the head of the water is changing, then the discharge also vary. This is one major disadvantage in this case. And fifth one, high heads, the efficiency is low. Okay, for high heads, efficiency becomes low. That is one disadvantage here. So it's about 50 to 80% only. These things. And now, last one, that is what is called their ordinary suction. Okay, their ordinary suction lift is limited. That is one. Okay, their ordinary suction lift is limited, say up to 6 meter or okay. So, and a pump has to be placed under water where higher suction lift are involved. So if you want higher suction lift, then the pump must be kept sufficiently under water, like that. So these are the what you call disadvantages or drawbacks of the pumps. So after this, let us see what is reciprocating. I have told you I am only discussing only two types of pumps, that is reciprocating and centrifugal pump. So central pump also actually not having much usage in water supply scheme, but still let us have some brief idea. So now what is this reciprocating pump? Now here see, in reciprocating pump, okay, reciprocating pumps, the simplest type of reciprocating pump which is still widely used in India, okay, in Indian villages and towns, sometimes in cities also, and hand operated well pump called as hand pump is commonly used. Okay, so this is all about the reciprocating pump. Now if you want to see the figure, this is a reciprocating pump figure. It is just for your understanding. This figure will be never asked in the examination, but only for understanding. In the village side, it is being used commonly. You might have seen this. Okay, this is a hand operated reciprocal, okay, pump. So this one is there. So but majorly what is happening is the centrifugal pump itself is used. So what are the factors affecting the, so you can see here, it is here written, factors affecting the selection of the particular type of pump. So these are the factors. Let us see what are the important factors. Okay, I think it is visible to you even though letters are small. Okay, so capacity of pumps, importance of water supply scheme, initial cost of pumping arrangement, maintenance cost, space requirements, number of units required, total lift of water required, quantity of water to pump. So these are the different factors which are okay required, okay, which are affecting this selection of the particular type of pump. So before selecting, these 7 factors are taken into account, studied, and then pump will be selected. Okay, so that's all. Now let us see what is the in fact the last sentence very important. It is mentioned, you look here, what is written here is, truly speaking, reciprocating pumps are also outdated these days, and for all the ordinary conditions of pumping, the centrifugal type of rotodynamic pumps are frequently used these days, as they provide satisfactory and economic service. So compared to all those nothing, again all the pumps are there, types of pumps. Out of them, only centrifugal pump and reciprocating pump are commonly adopted in community and water supply scheme. And again, out of these 2 pumps, only centrifugal pump has become more important. So let us see this centrifugal pump more. Okay. So what is the related to centrifugal pump only? Next we will see what is economic diameter. Okay. What is economic diameter of the pumping means. So this is the important point as per your syllabus concerned. I am going a bit detail. So what is economic diameter? Actually, economic diameter means the diameter of the pump should be kept in such a way that it must be economic. Economic means cost must be considerably low. So cost actually in the pumping system, cost is not only included in due to material, but also it is running cost. So we have to use the running cost also. Okay. Now what it is written, let us see. Okay. See, for reducing the cost of the pipe, the diameter of the pipe may be reduced by increasing the flow velocity through the pipe. You can reduce the diameter. Okay. If you want to reduce the cost of the pipe, diameter of the pipe may be reduced, but by reducing diameter of the pipe, what happens? Velocity through the pipe will be increased. So velocity through the pipe will be increased. See, remember. So if the velocity is increased, what is the drawback here? It is the frictional loss. Okay, that is loss of head will be taken place due to friction. So this one is very important part. So this frictional loss should not be there. So therefore, what you have to do is we have increased cost of pumping. If the frictional loss is there, cost of pumping will be increased. So for what next is written, for optimum, please go through the underlined lines. Okay, for optimum conditions, we must choose such a diameter. Okay, such a diameter which together with pumping cost will make the total annual expenses the minimum. So this is very important statement what I understand. Remember. Okay, this is very important statement. Please remember this. So what I am once again I will read it. For optimum condition, we must choose such a diameter which together with the pumping cost will make the total annual expenses or the minimum. That is what it is written. So the diameter which provides such optimum conditions is known as economical diameter. Okay, economical diameter. So what is that? Economical diameter. Economical diameter of the pipe. Hence, what it is written here? Hence, if the diameter, okay, chosen is less than the economical diameter, the cost of pipe will be less, but the head loss will be high, and the cost of pumping shall be much more than the resultant saving of the pipe cost. Similarly, if the diameter chosen is more than the economical diameter, the cost of the pumping will be less, but increases the cost of the pipe will be more than the resultant saving obtained in the cost of pumping. So you understand. So that means there is one diameter of the pipe in the centrifugal pump. So what we have to use is, that is economical diameter. What is economic diameter? That means it is optimum diameter. What is called optimum. So to determine this, okay, to determine all these things, an empirical formula is used here. So an empirical formula. Here an empirical formula given by Lee. Lee means it is name of the scientist. Okay, it is name of the scientist. Connecting the diameter and the discharge, which is commonly used in practice, is given by this one. What is that? D is equal to 0.97 to 1.22 under root Q. Okay, under root Q. What is Q? Here it is. Q is the discharge. Okay, Q is discharge and D is the economical diameter in meters. So to determine the economic diameter, this one is to be. So Q is discharge to be pumped in Qmax, that remember, okay. So by using very simple empirical formula, see the economical diameter can be designed. So I'll just show you by the help of graph. What is economic diameter? It is here, see. So here what it is done. See here, annual cost in vertical along y-axis, that is annual cost, and along x-axis, that is size of pipe. You can see dotted line here, dotted line over here. Okay, this dotted line indicate that this is the size of the pump, and this line, curved line, is indicating graph. So if you take less diameter, see it is the point, and if you take more diameter, this will be the graph point. So here is the low in the graph. The lowest point the graph is this one is lowest point. Okay, this one is lowest point. Okay, remember this is the lowest point. This is the lowest point, and this is the diameter. So this is the annual cost. Sorry, this height is indicating annual cost, and this one is diameter. This length is diameter. So this is diameter. It is neither less nor more. So this size of the pipe means diameter actually. Okay. So this is lowest. Add this curve indicating lowest part. This is diameter. So this point is taken into account as a economical diameter of the pipe. So this is what economical diameter of the pipe. So that one you understand. So with this, the theoretical part is very simple and very little here. And on these pumps, you have got certain problems also in the examination. Sometimes they are asked. Okay. And the loss of the head due to friction is determined by this equation. Please remember the equation. It is sometimes required while solving the problems also. This is HF, means that is loss of head due to friction. This one is formula F LV square upon 2GD, which what is F dash here? F dash means F dash is actually a constant of friction. Okay, that will be given in the problem. V is the velocity. Okay, so and Q is the discharge, G is 9.81, D is the diameter of the pipe, and all these things you know. Okay, this formula most commonly used in case of the solving the problems. Okay, now I'll just go to one or two problems so that you will understand this. There is one problem here which has been solved in book in SK Gur. So I'll just read out this problem and explain you how it is solved. It is very simple, and sometimes this type of problems may be asked in the examination. Okay, now here I'll read the problem. Okay, a centrifugal pump given I will take a bit this one. Okay, a centrifugal pump driven by an electric motor lifts water through the total height of 50 meters. See, all the data are given, remember here. Okay, 50 meters from the reservoir to the discharge end. Okay, the pump efficiency is 77, that is also given. So pump efficiency is given 77%, and the motor efficiency is 85%. The lift through the 300 meters length is 10 centimeter diameter pipe. Okay, and the pumping rate is 1500 liters per minute, and if 4F is equal to 0.025 and the power cost is 25 paise per kilowatt hour, what is the cost of the power for pumping the 4 million liters of water? So all these data are given, major data are given in this problem. So only you have to put the values and calculate it. So what you have to calculate here? We have to calculate the cost of the pumping for 4 million liters of water. Okay, 4 million. 4 million liter means how many liters? 4 million liter. 1 million liter is equal to 10 raised to 6 liters. That is 10 lakh liters. So 10 lakh liters will be equal to 1 million liter. So here 4 million liter means 4 into 10 raised to 6 liters of water is to be lifted. So what is the power required for that? Okay, cost of the power. Even cost also you have to calculate. You have to calculate first power and then cost. Sometimes only up to power you have to calculate. Problem will be asked up to calculation of power. What is the power required to the pumping of the 4 million liters of water? That much only is asked. What is the cost? This is sometimes not asked. Okay, cost in this problem it is there, but cost may not be asked sometimes. Only power may be asked. So power, that is this power you have to calculate. What is the power? That's all. So, but everything, the whole problem is solved. Let us see. So let us start the solution. So how it is? Very first, the head total lift including suction and delivery is calculated. What is total lift? that is suction head. HS means suctional head and SD means delivery head. Both are equal to 50 meters. It is given. So all these things are, please remember, all these things are given. Okay. So this 50 meters given. Okay, given. Whatever I'll put right mark given. Head loss in the pipe friction is calculated. What is head loss? Head loss in pipe friction is, this is the formula. Head loss HF is equal to F dash LV square upon 2Z. Here V is not given. Therefore, we have to use this alternative relation. Okay, this one. So what is that here? F dash? F dash is equal to 4F, which is equal to 0.25. It is given. Length is given. Diameter is given. Diameter is 10 centimeters given. That means 1.1 meter. Okay. Q is given, and Q is given, but Q is given in liters per minute. That we have to convert into Qmax. So how it is converted? So 1500 liters means 1.5, okay, cubic meter. 1500 liters means 1.5 cubic meter, and divided by 60 means minutes is converted into seconds. So okay, this one is, you understand that. So this one is very simple to understand. So Q is given. So by putting all these values in HF equation, so it is calculated, and the head loss has come. So what is head loss? Head loss is 38.77 meters. This is head loss. So this 38.77 meter head loss should be added into the available given head. So this is height. 50 meter is the actual height, actual head we have to lift the water, and 38.77 is the loss due to the friction. So 38.77 meter loss is there. That loss must be added to the water. So what is the total lift? Total lift is 88.77 meters. So this remember. So this way we have to consider. So now let us see what is power required. So power required for the water, power required. So this is the formula for power required. Okay, that is gamma WQ into H. So very simple formula. So put all the values here. What is Q? You know, you have already calculated here. 0.025. This one is Q. Okay, and this one is 88.77. That is the head. So put all the values and calculate. This will be in kilonewton meter per second. Okay, because 9.81 is taken kilonewton. So therefore, it is kilonewton per second or watts. It is also called watts. So 21.77 watts. Okay, it is 21.77 watts. So this one you understand. So with this, the next we have to go for HP. So that watt is converted into HP. So watt 21.75 watt is there. Okay, 21.775 watt. So that watt is converted into HP over here. So look here. So here 21.77 watt divided by 0.735, that is 1 HP is equal to 0.735 watt. So therefore HP will be equal to 29.62 HP. Horsepower of motor required is equal to, what is that horsepower motor required? So 29.62 divided by N, this is eta P and eta M. Eta means what? Eta is actually, it is efficiency of pipe and efficiency of pump and efficiency of the motor. So this eta P is equal to efficiency of the pump, and eta M is equal to efficiency of the motor. So these two values are given in the problem. Okay, in the reading only I have told. So efficiency of the pump is given 77% and efficiency of the motor is given 85%. So that is written here, 0.77 into 0.85. So calculate HP. So you got the HP. Okay, HP you got. So once you got the HP, power required is equal to, so that can be calculated. So what is power required? Power required is here 45.26, that HP into 0.735. If you multiply these two, you will get kilowatts. Okay, so it is 33.26 kilowatts. So time during which the 4 million liters of water will be lifted. What is the time? So time can be calculated here. Volume of water to be pumped divided by the pumping rate. So what is volume of water to be limited? 4 into 10 to the 6 liters. I have told you it is given in the problem. Okay, and 1500 it is also given, that is pumping rate. So both the values are already given. Simply put the values in the equation and get the values. So how it is? It is in minute. This minute is converted into, okay, hours here. How it is converted? Okay, divided by 60. If you do it divided by 60, it becomes hours. So 44.4 hour is required. Okay, so now the energy required. So what is energy required, that we can calculate here. So energy required here 33.26 into 44.5 kilowatt hour. So a simple formula. So use the calculate the energy required. So 1476.9 K kilowatt hours. This is energy required. So cost, what is the cost? Cost of the electrical energy at 0.25 pice. It is already given, okay? 0.25 pice per unit. Multiply that value into 0.25. You will get this value. So rupees 369.23. Okay, remember this is all about the solution. Now here, actually sometimes you may be asked only up to this solution. What is that? Power required, watt power required, this much. Up to this much sometimes it is asked, remember. So sometimes you have to solve up to this much, carrying 6 marks. So this much solution is water power required, okay? Power required, that much. So remember, up to this problem is very simple to understand, not much lengthy also. You can go through. So this is one type problem. And after that, second type problem is there. Here actually diameter of the main is asked. Okay. So let us read this problem. Water has to be supplied to a town with 1 lakh population at the rate of 150 liters per capita per day from a river 2000 meter away. The difference in the elevation between the lowest water level in the sump and the reservoir is 36 meter. If the demand has to be supplied in 8 hours, determine the size of the main and the brake horsepower of the pump required. So up to HP only sometimes it is asked. Okay. Now what are the assume maximum demand of water? Okay. Assume maximum demand of water is 1.5 times the average, and assume F is equal to 0.0075. Velocity of the pipe 2.4 meter per second. Efficiency of pump is 80%. So all these things, most of the data will be given in this problem, in such problem. Only the thing you have to calculate. So calculation is very simple. I'll go a bit fast. Once, dear students, you don't worry. I am going to send this notes to you. You once again open it and go through. It is self-explanatory, very easy to understand. Simple formulas are there. Okay. Population. What is given population? Okay, 1 lakh. So per capita demand. Okay, 1 lakh population is given. Per capita demand is 150 liters per day per person, and average daily demand is calculated by multiplying the population into the demand. So 15 million liters per day. 15 million liters per day if you calculate. What is 15 million liter? MLD means million liter per day. So 1 million liter means, again I have told 1 million liter means 10 raised to 6. Okay, 10 raised to 6 liters. 1 million means 10 raised to 6. So 1 million liter means 10 raised to 6 liter. So this is per day. MLD means million liter per day. Okay. Now what is maximum daily demand? It is 1.5 times. It is given. Maximum daily demand is 1.5 times the average daily demand. So multiply this MLD into 1.5. So therefore it is 22 MLD. So this one is 22 MLD. So this is the water demand per day what you are considering for the solution. Okay. So now let us see. So now since the pumps have to work 8 hours. Okay. Since the pumps have to work 8 hours. So a day capacity of the pump should be designed for daily demand. So that is equal to 22.5, that is MLD required, and it has to work for 8 hours. So therefore we have to calculate capacity. Okay. So for that purpose 24 upon 8, it will be 67.5 MLD it is required. So this one is there. And discharge. Then what is discharge? Discharge required per second. So it is calculated. 67.5 is MLD is required water, and into 10 raised to 6 it is converted into liters. Okay, remember here what I am doing is this is MLD. 67.5 into 10 to 6 means it is converted into liters, and again it's divided by 10 raised to 3 means it is converted into cubic meter. Again divided by 24 it is converted into the hour. Again 60 means it is converted into the minute. Again divided by 60 means it is converted into second. So what we have done is this 67.5 liter is converted. For conversion we have to do so many calculations. What you have converted? That is MLD is converted into cubic meter per second. Okay, MLD is converted into cubic meter per. This was MLD. See at the up it is MLD. MLD is converted into cubic meter per second. To convert, what all we have to do is multiply it by 10 to the 6, divide it by 10 to the 3, divide it by 10, 24, divided by 60, divided by 60. So then you will get it in cubic meter per second. So that is nothing but Q max. So this is the value. Q max is the value for that. Remember this. Okay. So once you get this, now velocity through the pipe. Velocity through the pipe is 2.4 meter. It is given. Okay. Velocity through the pipe is given. And area required is called Q upon V. Q upon V. What is Q? Q is 0.78. That is discharge. Q means discharge. And velocity is 2.4. So divide it, you will get 0.325 square meter. That is area. What is this? This area required is 0.325. That is area required. So once you know the area, then you can calculate the diameter. So what is the diameter? Diameter is equal to, you know that formula. Here we have a formula, that is diameter formula, you know that. Pi by 4 d square will be equal to area, you know that. So using this formula only modified here. So d is calculated here, very simple formula. So by using that formula, this d is calculated. So diameter is, that is under root 0.325, that is Q, okay, and that is area, sorry, this is area, 0.325, that is area, and into 4 upon pi under root. So if you do it, you will get this value. So this one you will value, and say that is 0.65 meter is the answer. Diameter should be 0.65 meter, near about that. So generally this type of problems will be asked up to this extent only. Okay, this extent only you are more than carrying 6 marks. But sometimes it may be asked further also, but very rarely case. What it does, total lift including suction and delivery head is 36 meter. It is also given. Okay, it is given. So head loss you have to calculate. What is head loss? Again same formula. HF is equal to F dash LV square upon 2GD. So put all these values. Put all these values here. So all these values are given. Okay, we know what is F, it is given, what is L, it is given, what is 2.4, it is given, what is diameter, it is calculated now. This diameter is recently calculated. So put this diameter value in this and calculate the HF. Okay, HF you have to calculate. So HF you calculate, this is the HF. 63 point, what is the HF? That is head loss due to friction. HF means head loss due to friction. So 63.1 you got, and brake horsepower is calculated. Here actually brake horsepower is required to be calculated. Therefore, this we are going to do it. So brake horsepower is calculated. Now here, this one is 82 point. That is this formula, you know that. Okay, gamma WQH upon efficiency into 0.735. So this is standard formula for calculating brake horsepower, and put all the values which have been given and which have been calculated and determine the brake horsepower. So these are the two types of problems which are commonly being asked in the examinations. And dear students, I will send these notes to you, and so that you can understand very well. Go through only these two problems you go through. So what you have to mainly highlight is no need of sketch and all that. Only you have to remember the types of pumps, and again out of all the types of pumps, you have to remember only two types of pumps, that is centrifugal pump and reciprocating pump. Again, in case of the two pumps, problem will be asked only on centrifugal pump. So what are the types of problems? Those two types of problems I have already explained you. So please go through and understand this. I am going to send all these notes to you forward, and I think with this you have understood very well. I have gone a bit fast because I cannot continuously go through hours together. You will be also bored. So you just go through the notes and understand how it is to be done. Okay, thank you. Good luck.